Subscribe for more.
I never thought my marriage would end in silence, but that's exactly how it began to fall apart. My name is Daniel. I'm 42, and until that night, I believed loyalty was enough. Emily and I were married 10 years. No scandals, no chaos, just routines and responsibility. I worked logistics, long hours, steady pay. She worked remote marketing, flexible, distracted. We built a life that looked solid from the outside. Friends said we were stable. Family said we were lucky. I believed them. I believed consistency mattered more than passion, more than noise, more than constant reassurance, everyday life. Over time, small things shifted. Conversations shortened. Touch became accidental. Emily laughed less with me and more at her phone. I told myself this was normal, that marriages mature into quiet companionship. I adapted. I cooked more, cleaned more, asked less. I became efficient at avoiding conflict. Nights passed with space between us, an invisible border I respected. When I reached for her, she turned slightly away, never dramatic, just enough. Each rejection felt minor alone, but together they stacked quietly, heavy as unpaid debt. I carried it daily, silently, pretending strength meant endurance without complaint or visible pain anywhere. The 10th anniversary came quietly. No trip, no celebration, just dinner at home. I bought flowers anyway. She smiled politely, distracted, already elsewhere. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. I went to the kitchen for water and heard voices from the living room. Soft, familiar, wrong. When I turned the corner, Emily was sitting on the couch, close to someone else. Not touching, not hiding, just comfortable. It was Marcus, her coworker, the one she mentioned casually, the one I wasn't supposed to worry about. They looked surprised, not guilty, which somehow hurt even more than any shouting ever could. I didn't yell. I didn't ask questions. I just stood there, absorbing the scene like a photograph I could never unsee. Emily finally spoke, said it wasn't what it looked like. Marcus avoided my eyes. I nodded, not because I believed them, but because something inside me shut down. 10 years replayed in seconds. Every late meeting, every turned shoulder, every excuse. I realized this wasn't sudden betrayal. It was a slow replacement. I had been present, dependable, invisible, and they were comfortable enough to forget I existed. That realization landed heavier than anger or rage ever could inside me. I grabbed my jacket and keys without a word. Emily followed me to the door, asking me to talk. I said nothing. Talking was something I'd done for years without being heard. Outside, the air felt sharp and real. I sat in my car, hands on the wheel, breathing slowly. I wasn't heartbroken in the way movies show. I was clear that love without respect becomes obligation. Clear that staying would mean shrinking further. I drove to my brother Nathan's place and slept deeply for the first time in months. No dreams, no anxiety, just quiet relief at last. Morning brought messages I didn't answer. Explanations, apologies, confusion. I contacted a solicitor instead, not out of revenge, but preservation. I separated finances, documented everything, followed procedure. Emily accused me of being cold. I wasn't cold. I was finished bleeding. Friends tried to mediate, suggesting counseling, forgiveness, effort. I listened politely. I'd already given effort. Forgiveness without accountability only teaches people how to repeat harm. Walking away wasn't punishment. It was self-respect arriving late, but finally arriving. I understood then that endings can be quiet, deliberate, and necessary even when the world expects dramatic pain instead from broken men everywhere. Emily moved in with Marcus weeks later. That confirmed everything I already knew. There was no dramatic confrontation after that, just paperwork and distance. Some nights hurt. Most nights felt lighter. I rebuilt routines around myself. Gym mornings, quiet dinners, honest sleep. I stopped apologizing for wanting basic affection. Looking back, I don't hate her. I hate that I abandoned myself to keep peace. The real betrayal wasn't the couch. It was the years I stayed silent, hoping consistency would earn love. It never does, when respect has already quietly left. That lesson cost me a decade to learn properly. I share this because many men live this story privately. No bruises, no headlines, just erosion. If you're reading this and recognizing yourself, understand this. Love should not require you to disappear. Commitment should not demand silence. Walking away doesn't make you weak. Staying while you're slowly erased does. I didn't win anything by leaving, except myself. And that was worth more than the comfort I traded for years. Some endings aren't failures. They're delayed beginnings you were too loyal to choose sooner. I learned that lesson the hardest possible way imaginable after 10 quiet years of marriage ending silently.